Yeah. Hey guys, Seth of Total War here. So today I'm going to be taking you through our next matchup on my continuing excessive adventure through the WWC. So what have we got today? Let's go to replays. So today I was playing against Don't Try So Hard, and yeah, you know what? I'm not even going to tell you anything about it. You'll find out. You'll find out. So you see a build here. So it was Empire versus Norska. I can't remember what he banned. I feel like I should write these things down so I can properly narrate it. He banned vampire counts and dwarves. Yeah, so it was. He also picked the map, and the map was Eschen. So, as you can see, we've got Norska over here and Empire there. And as I did in my previous videos, first off, I will take you through the builds and then I will show you what happened. Alright, so in my army, I had 4 marauders with javelin, so just like the basic marauder horsemen. I took 5 marauders as I did last time round. I took 2 Norska Nice Wolves this time, managed to go all out for the 2, quite chuffed with that. And I took 1 less berserker unit to do that, and took 2 berserkers. Took Wolfric on a horse with his basic kit. I didn't bring the I can't remember what it's called. It's like a buff that buffs melee attack. But that was it. I took everything else. And Shaman Metal this time rather than Fire I went for. My kind of idea was to debuff. The only thing is it's quite expensive at 11 wins of magic. Oh, don't know what the fuck that is. Okay. I'm having some sort of glitch. Hold on. Weird. I also took 2 of the familiar with great weapons as well, and yeah, that's pretty much my army. Pretty much the same as what I did last time, just a few minor tweaks. And for what his name was again, Don't Try So Hard. What we had was 1 spearman with shields, spearman shields, spearman shields. So 3 spearman with shields, or 4 I think, or 3 spearman with shields. A 4th with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Just need to check that, but I think you're only allowed to bring 5. Hold on. No, because Sigmar's sons aren't included in it. That's what it is. My bad. My apologies. Yeah, so he brought the 4 variants of Spearsman with 1 without shields. He brought Sigmar's sons, and he brought a group of swordsmen as well. He had Volkmar on his war wagon, and I can't remember if he had all the bits and pieces. Well, most of the bits and pieces. And he also had Outriders with grenades. He had 2 Knights of Blazing Sun, a Hammer of the Witches, and 1 Handgunners. 1 the Silver Bullet Handgunners, which is a Regiment Renown version, and he had Empire Knights. So he really had quite a lot of variety in his army actually, and it kind of showed. Like, I had quite a bit of variety in mine as well. But yeah, so as you can see, we're approaching straight up the pipe here. He's got a cannon, so I'm forced to attack him because he could attack me because of his range advantage straight off the bat. If he had been out of range, he would have had to move to engage me, which in hindsight is actually a better thing to do with artillery because it makes the player move out of range. So I might actually try that in my next battle. Stay well out of range, because if I'm fighting like Empire or whatever else, rules dictate they have to move to fight me as well. It's not just me. So yeah, so I'm just going to play it and you'll see how it gets off. Now the battle starts off quite well. So I start my manoeuvring, a bit slow with the infantry, so I do actually ungroup these guys and start setting them up, which I lose a bit of cohesion, I'm not going to lie for that one. I made Drake go up the flanks. I wanted him to know what my intentions were. I wanted him to feel under pressure and be constantly watching the flanks and hopefully taking a bit of attention off these side bits. And you see, he already starts redeploying a little bit here, but I think he actually just moved that one about an inch. And then, but yeah, he starts redeploying. So you see, start come up around this side here. He's just redeploying a bit more. And I'm moving Wolfric up. I decided at this point, right, Wolfric can come up for a sneaky stab, and why not? Because if I can get him up, I can potentially do that. And I did realise as well, like, with Wolfric, I can go and poke around these edges. So my kind of plan was just to basically mess with him, get in amongst every element I could, and try and get him to take some fire. So you see, North Ice will take a bit of fire there. It's nothing horrendous. I pulled him off the last minute there, realised that I was obviously focusing on something at this side here. The Hammer of the Witches is still firing from Premier, which is quite damaging. And you see here, he kind of redeploys. Now, he opens up. at this bit. Now I thought this was, oh you can see this, my Norse Connections, I just changed the formation to actually sneak them right through. I was pretty happy with how that went, but it was actually the Hammer of the Witches I was after, it wasn't then. Then he's got his gap here on the side to pull my Marauders in. The only problem is, the counter charge from the cavalry breaks my ice wolves straight away. You can see I'm already dropping magic. This battle happens really, really fast, by the way. And I'm pulling these Norse ice wolves up. So my micro was pretty good. The problem was, once I got in, I was kind of, I can't get back out. As you can see here, I tried to pull back out, they break off. We start poking at these guys. I actually thought it was a non-shielded variant I was poking at, but it's what it is. Fuck up with micro here and get caught off, which I was a bit annoyed about. And he's managed to break off my centre. He does a Firestorm, but I do actually notice it at the last minute, and I actually managed to pull, although I take a bit of damage in the first rank here, I actually managed to pull away the second and those remaining ranks as well. So I managed to pull them off. My Famir are still taking a heap of damage, and unfortunately they shatter off my Marauder Horsemen. Now that isn't the end of the world in terms of actual balance of power, but in terms of mobility and just general harassing the backline it is. But I'm pretty happy that the front line's going okay. I'm waiting to go and re-engage these guys. I realise my Shaman's taking quite a bit of damage, and Wolfric is now fighting toe-to-toe with Volkmar the Grim. Again, the master fucking duelist that can't duel fuck all. I really need to change, stop playing with him. If he can't duel, why do I keep playing him? So yeah, played off against Volkmar, and Volkmar has dropped his goodies, and he's just kicking his shit out of Wolfric. Here, I'm trying to poke down the Empire Knights, and you see I drop my Transmutation at Wedge just to lower their armour, but unfortunately moved slightly out of range. Front line still, at this point here, I'm starting to worry, it's starting to turn the wrong way. I managed to get the silver bullets through this gap here, which I was quite happy with, but quite quickly, the Knights of Blazing Sun come in. Now, I wasn't too fussed about that, because these aren't trolls and they're not skin wolves, so they don't regenerate, so they don't have a weakness against fire. And it's kind of the engagement you want them, right? You want them on the large. Unfortunately, it didn't quite go that way. As you can see, my front line's now basically shattered. Volkmar is still just tanking like a fucking god. And we've got the Famir just are not performing the way they should have done in this fight. And yeah, we've got the Empire Knights coming through the centre. So you can see here, it's already kind of, the balance of power is already pushing into his favour. And, you know, troop for troop, we're not too far away from each other. He's still got his Hammer Witches as a go. He still has his Gunners as a go. He's actually broken off key units by like the Ice Wolves and whatnot, but he's still got his key units as a go. His Knights are still out and about as well. I do actually manage to start kind of cutting back here, so he stays like a pronged fight. It looks like I'm going to lose this fight. I do actually start to win it, but Volkmar is still just taking an absolute pounding against, Wolfric is taking an absolute pounding. So I realise this, so I pull him out. I decide to jump back on these handgunners at the rear here, and I pull Wolfric out. Maybe I should engage both of them. It's what I need to get better at multiplayer. I keep throwing it like, everybody in. Again, yeah, it goes to shit. But you can see here, this pocket here, we're still trying to hold it. I was trying to take out his Bright Wizard now as well, but his Bright Wizard was dropping buffs. And yeah, I could actually figure out why I was losing that fight. That's probably why it's all the buffs that got dropped to the Famir and the Centaur are trying to go after Volkmar, but it's too little too late at this point. The balance of power is swinging. Most of our troops are already running. Wolfric does not have enough health left to tag. I was trying to pull them back round to get up on the Bright Wizard here, and yeah, like I said, just a bit too little too late. And nothing, I no infantry left apart from this one unit Marauders here. Again, yeah, army losses is called there. So a bit of a disappointing fight. I think I did some really good manoeuvring at the beginning of it, but yeah, just not sure about the build. The Famir, I think, probably just a bit too slow for what it's needed to be. But yeah, let's have a wee look at the breakdown. Right, so you can see on my opponent's side, so Don't Try So Hard Volkmar 8,000, that's alright. Bright Wizard 6,000, that's okay. You don't tend to, I've noticed that, see with Empire, you don't tend to get big losses there more, they're just like buff up everyone else. Spearsman, yeah, you know, his infantry did what they were meant to do. The silver bullets did well. As ever, handgunners, I wouldn't have said that was good. I mean, only 6 kills, but the damage they actually dealt, I felt was a lot higher than that, but obviously it wasn't. Definitely silver bullets, they were the ones obviously shooting into my bigger stuff. Knights did well. Knights of the Blazing Sun, these were the MVPs of the match. They just did not quit. 10,000 and 140 kills as well. Also, he quite quickly took out my mobility, so he was able just to pick whatever engagements he wanted after that. Grenade launchers did really, really well as well. Now, I've used grenade launchers against Norska. They are actually a really good counter pick against Norska. And I should have really if I could go back, I would probably take about a little bit slower actually seeing what he had, because I just kind of jumped in. It was like, I'll figure out what to get in. Hammer Witches is pretty shit. I really do not rate artillery multiplayer at all. I'm not saying all artillery, but I find it just, yeah, you end up focusing it. It doesn't actually do that much damage. It needs a full match for it to do that. And yeah, last Spearsman. So yeah, all in all, his army was pretty balanced, did pretty well. I liked his build, liked what he did. If it liked the way he used it, it was solid play. And from my point of view, Wolfric, look, he did do his job. He did a good job. If you look at that, 15,000 damage. So really happy that 80 kills, pretty good. My sorcerer, I wish I'd gone for fire now. Fire might have actually been able to take out some of these other guys who might be able to buff up my troops. My infantry, as always, just kind of did what infantry do. My berserkers didn't do as well this time. A bit disappointed with that. My marauder cav, honestly, if I was to do this again, I'd probably cut my marauder cav. Maybe increase the infantry. Maybe got another couple of berserkers again. Maybe another couple of hounds. I don't know. And yeah, my Famir just did not. That's why I lost the battle. I never got to use him the way I should have gotten to use him. So yeah, well played to don't try so hard. I didn't, and I lost. Cool. So we will take it to the next match now. Now I didn't even save that first one. He kindly saved it, and I managed to again send it across to me. So thank you very much for that if you're watching. And watch replay. So we'll go into the second match now. So the second match was my pick. I went for Schwarzhofen, and I banned Derry, and I banned High Elves. The reason I banned Derry is because I thought, based on his play, I felt he was quite a defensive player, so I figured that's the way he was. I'm just going to pause this. I figured that's the way he was going to play if I allowed him to go for Derry. I went for Empire because I thought, they're a decent pick. I have to admit, when he picked Bretonnia, I did get a little bit nervous. Empire do have tools to take down large, don't get me wrong, really do. But all their tools require protecting. And you don't really want to go cab for cab with Bretonnia. So I'm starting to think Bretonnia like one of the best fucking factions in this game. And what was really annoying, I was going to go for Bretonnia, and I was like, oh no, because if I go for Bretonnia, it's just going to go for a defensive faction. It's going to be a fucking nightmare. Hindsight, should have gone for Bretonnia. Anyway, take through my build. So I went for 2 Pistoliers. The kind of idea was I was hoping I could just sort of pull the knights away from the main fight, and because they can kite and shoot. So that was kind of my hope there. Front line of spearsmen with shields, I think. And I did get 1 spearsman without. Yeah, so 4 spearsmen, 3 spearsmen with shield, 2 spearsmen without, 1, 2, 3, 4 halberdiers. When I was making my build, I was a little bit like, I don't want to play into his hands. Everyone knows Bretonnia is going to bring, a big cavalry build, right? So my kind of idea was, right, I'm not going to play into that. I figured with the halberdiers, they would actually trade quite effectively with infantry. I will trade quite effectively with that. So it's a bit of a mixture, if I'm being honest. But he did actually go a horse build, and I still lost. So I'm a little bit disappointed because my pick was more thinking to that, and I was convinced he was like counter picking me. 2 handgunners. I picked Karl Franz after Boris's sad attempt against Marquis. I decided to go somewhere else, and I went to Jade Wizard to keep him buffed up and keep him alive. 2 Empire Knights and Demigriff of Halberds. I thought this might be a little bit of an odd pick that he might not have expected, so when he charged in his cavalry, maybe he wouldn't realise that I was fighting the Demigriff Knights and I could counter charge, because Demigriffs will bin half of the Bretonnian cavalry, they just won't bin some of their bigger ones. So that's what my pick was, or my build I should say. For my opponent, he had Questing Knights, fucking Questing Knights, really went for a big heavy cav, and then his front line was mounted yeoman archers. They were a pain in the ass. They weren't that bad. Like I probably devoted. He ended up clumping them. As you'll see, and actually didn't perform as well. But see, right at the end, they became a game changer right at the end. Because there was a moment at the end when I think if I'd just gotten a rout of the enemy, it might have gone back the other way. But hey-ho. Peasant mobs, they went for 4 of them, just chaff, I guess, to chew up the front line, or be chewed up in the front line. And he went for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 men at arms with shield and sword and board. And he had a Damsel of Heavens, and he had King Lewin himself. And the other thing, which I didn't actually realise in the battle, was he had Pegasus Knights. I didn't actually see him until he landed and started fucking around. So yes, there wasn't much deploying in this. Him being Bertone, he was obviously going to come up. You can see here, I kind of we shoot each other like point blank raging, and I kind of like shit. I need to get the hell out of here. I managed to get these guys out before they take too much damage, and I start moving up. Yeah, see, he doesn't even take out of wood straight away, which is quite smart. Yeah, so Pistoliers, I'm trying to get into safe range, but I do actually turn at one point here, and I try and get these guys up. But again, just a little bit of a deployment from my point of view. Again, issues with my grouping. With my grouping and my timings, I end up clumping up, and when you clump up like this, it does actually, so you can't actually see it, but it actually obstructs these guys shooting. So when they turn to start shooting at these guys, unfortunately, it does actually hurt them a bit. So you can see here, I'm ready for the frontline engagement. I know he's brought ships, so I know I'll win that frontline engagement. My focus is kind of on the flanks at the moment, but yeah, you'll see it unfold. So see what I mean? He kind of clumped over here and started poking at the side of these guys. I do turn him to face him, but it's not going to make that much of a difference. And my gunners are still just like, they're a bit obstructed and cut away here. Good use of his heavens here. I can't remember what it's called. So Wind Blast. I think it might actually be called Wind Blast. And yeah, here I'm hoping I can kite his quested knights away. That was kind of hope. They were on, but I don't think I had them with skirmish. So you see here, I end up taking a charge straight to the face, which is just stupid. We break through here in the centre. I did a counter charge with my knights into his peasants. Why not? Nothing says you can't charge infantry straight on. I do a counter charge here into the quested knights. I also start moving up the gunners just couldn't get properly on their target again. We end up getting counter charged there, which wasn't great. I see that I'm about to get counter charged, charged here by the quest knights, so I pull forward my halberds and I pull to side my pistoliers. I just weren't getting a decent fight across here. I would start shooting into them. So you see, we actually do alright. They still managed to get onto us, but that's a good engagement for me. That's potentially a lot of money down the drain. This though, I thought, right, I brought Karl Franz. Now granted, he brought his Sword of Corona. I should have seen that coming, but I'm trying to buff. I've got my melee attack down. I'm trying to fight him. I did think he would still win against Ruin. Nope, Karl Franz did not win against Ruin. That was my warning for today. As you see, I'm keeping a lot in reserve. I'm trying not to overcommit. I'm just focusing on dealing with these engagements here, and unfortunately, it does kind of dupe me a little bit. It's one of the problems. You just got to be careful if you're using units to sort of screen your back line. You've got to really mic with them because these guys were on stand their ground. So when he fucked off, they didn't chase after him. Otherwise, they might have engaged him. You see here, Lewin breaks up Karl Franz. He breaks off this centre pocket, including my Demigris, which do actually come back. They're just terrified. And yeah, my knights are also terrified, I think. Yes. No, they're just broke. But yeah, not good at that flank. This flank here I'm actually doing okay. My Jade Wizard I'm just trying to pull around, trying to get these spearsmen ready for this. I see the easy way to charge. I pull them across. Karl Franz, I think he gets killed actually. Yeah, sorry guys, I think I actually missed that. Is that his sad wee corpse there? Somewhere around here. Yeah, he just fucking legs it, you see. And yeah, bringing his knights in. So we actually, the Demigris performed really, really well. Managed to get a restore off of them, and you see here we actually beat the quested knights, which is really, really good. So it does go to show Empire can fight a cav fight with Bretonia, provided they get lucky, I guess. And yeah, my Demigris said pulled into here. My hope was, because Demigris caused fear, or is it terror? One of them. So my hope was to break that off, and unfortunately it just didn't break. It just held on, which is really, really infuriating. If that broke it off, I think it would have been okay. See what buff goes down. See a backline here, I'm starting to kind of pull back, starting to reform a little bit. I'm actually, at this point, I'm still like, Balance of Power is in his favour, but there's still hope here. Like, we're firing into Lewin now, we've got, we've got good engagement with this backline, but Lewin, just yet again, I'm pretty sure he causes a terror right here. And Curse of Midnight goes down, and yeah, my knights break off again soon, so do my Demigris. What does that happen? His cav, this is the point where, like I said, he's fucking yeoman came running in. I've got a spearsman here, but the yeoman actually come in and just work our way through. I just didn't have enough defending this side. I was prepared to defend against, I don't know what I was prepared. I wish I'd redeployed them. They come in, I turn around, I'm shooting, but you see a Balance of Power slipping inside. Lewin is now finished breaking off everything else. I'm now not being focused on fire Lewin because of this attack in the back. And I pinned down everything. I drop a quick not regrowth, oh god, what's it called? Oh god, it just went off there as well. I drop a quick heal, and yeah, Lewin jumps in, and unfortunately I just didn't have enough left. Again, it's just like the magic kit. The Jade magic was fine, but Lewin just my opponent here just brought the right stuff to take me down, unfortunately. And yeah, I think the whatchamacallit, the Demigryph Knights, I think, were a good pick. They definitely were a good pick. I thought my Spearsman all that was fine. I didn't get the value off my Pistoliers. I didn't get the value off my handguns. And yeah, well, we'll have a look at a breakdown. Right, so we see here, so from my point of view, you know, oh, Jesus, here we go. Right, so Carl, just absolute shit. Absolute horse shit. Never taking Carl France again. A Jade Wizard, I think he did his job. He did buff up people. I mean, I used all the Wings of Magic. There was no more Wings of Magic left, so I used all that. The Spearsmen, yeah, they did alright. The Halberdiers, nah, they did alright. I mean, for infantry to get about 4,000 damage, still that's pretty good. And the handgunners, not convinced. How the Demigryphs of Halberds, I thought were pretty good. Although they didn't manage to get a full thing, in reality, I should have just kept the Jade Wizard with them, kept buffing them up, but I didn't. And the whole point of him being here was to buff those two units up, didn't know everything else. The Empire Knights did actually okay. The Empire Knights did really well, so that was must have been one I threw into forward charge. Should have thrown both of them into forward charge and didn't. Might be able to break off that front line before he even got him. You know, you live and learn with these sort of things. Lewin, yeah, absolute monstrosity. Just beat the brakes off of Carl France. It's really difficult from balance of power point of view to come back once your leader's gone. The Damsel did okay. His peasants actually did really well, just pinned down that front line, as did his men-at-arms. His Quested Knights did an excellent job, you can see there, they're very mobile. We did actually do a good job at taking two of them down, but unfortunately they were just too healthy. Yeoman, yeah, really good pick. I thought they were horseshit when he first picked them. I thought I'd be able to gung them out. I know they just kept coming and coming. And yeah, his Pegasus Knights took an absolute crumping. They did deal some damage, but all that was against one handgunner unit, I think. And yeah, my Demigryph Knights just showed them the time. So yeah, so well played to Don't Try So Hard. A bit disappointed for me, but like I said, we've still got, this is only my third matchup, so I've still got another 7? Is that right? Another 7 matchups to go, so there's still heaps of time to pull it back. You know it's learning. I'm not a multiplayer player, so I take a win where I can get them, and I was quite chuffed my one yesterday. But cool, if you like the video, guys, please hit literally the like button, and if you want to see, because I'll be uploading each match and a commentary in behind it and that, so if you want to see that, please hit that subscribe button. It'll keep you up to date when I'm dropping them in. But anyway, catch you later, guys. Bye.